Hello. Hi guys, it's your friendly, somewhat agitated neighborhood Sarah here today. Hi. So today's video was supposed to start off a lot different than it is right now. I had this big plan to have this epic reveal on some parts I bought for the TT, and I was super excited about it. I still am super excited, but as with modifying cars, sometimes things don't always go as planned, and that's what happened here. So before I get to the part where I am right now, it's really important that I show what I shot yesterday, which was supposed to be the beginning of this video, but I had to pretty much scrap it because it didn't go as planned, but you need to see it to understand what mess I'm in right now. Okay, is it potatoes? So, what did I buy for the TT? Thigh slap, please. Now, I did buy these parts for the TT. This is not a sponsored product for the car. I was trying to get sponsorships for braking and handling and suspension components for the car, and I was having no luck. So I made it happen and I bought this stuff with the help of my Patreon supporters. Big shout out to my Patreon supporters. You guys are amazing. Well, I'll show you what I bought. Da-da-da! I bought a big brake kit for the TT in their custom powder coated Tiffany blue. Ooh, look at that. I got a KSport big brake kit for Teeter Tot. God, these are so pretty. It's an 8 piston front calipers. But if you look how small the pistons are on these calipers, they're actually really tiny. So I don't think it should throw off the distribution fluid wise. Holy crap. 2-piece 330 millimeter rotors for the front. I could have gone bigger than a 330 millimeter rotor, but the reason why I didn't is the fact that I still have the 17-inch TT comps, the stock wheels for this car, and have those as like a backup set of wheels. Maybe put some really aggressive track tires on those. Man, that's heavy. I can't turn around. Ugh. I had to clean that little guy up. It was bothering me. It was all rusty, so I used some wheel cleaner, fallout remover, and a steel brush. Okay, time for the rotor. So these guys, because they're 2-piece rotors and they are directional vanes, and what I mean by that, I don't mean the slots on the front, I mean the vanes. They're directional. So this side goes on this side of the car. So that way the vanes on the inside are going like this. That makes sense. So not the slots, but the vanes. Something to take note of real quick, this is the factory brake line where it attaches to the car, to the hard line. The new stainless line that came with the kit, the ring around the top is a little bit larger diameter and it doesn't fit into that tab up there. That'll work. Yeah, I got it in there. The issue I'm running into now, because this is an Audi, is the fact that these are the stud lugs. They screw in, and I'm trying to get the rotor centered because it is not hub centric. It is a larger diameter than the actual hub on the car. Just kind of odd, you'd think, because this is a kit specifically for this TT, that it would be hub centric. It says to tighten down all the lug studs, and then you want to check to make sure that there is not 0.15 millimeters of oscillation up and down with this rotor off of the center of the hub right here. I don't have any way of measuring that. I don't have that tool. And then it says for the fix for that, if the oscillation exceeds it, is to wrap it with thread sealer. So it wants me to use Teflon tape and wrap around the hub, which kind of seems janky to me. I ran into a little bit of an issue. I'm super pissed off right now and trying not to show it on camera. But my big brakes do not clear my aftermarket wheels. Even though I researched and I was almost positive they would clear, they don't. And it's probably by about 2 or 3 millimeters of difference that they're not clearing by. So check this out. So as you can see, I got the wheel put back on there. It's not bolted down all the way, so there is still just a little bit of play in the rotor. But yeah, it's just barely coming in contact right there. So like I said, it's probably another 2 or 3 millimeters worth of spacer and it would probably clear it. I do have a 10 mil spacer on there right now. And that's where we're at. It is now the next morning. I came out here super early before I even got dressed. I was in my PJs and I switched over the wheel spacer from the driver's side. I stuck it on the passenger side, which effectively makes that a 20 millimeter spacer over there. And then I measured the spacing from the rear of the spoke to the caliper. Now there's other methods of measuring this, but I thought this was gonna be the most accurate method because I would actually be able to visualize the distance in addition to measuring it from the back of the spoke to the caliper. So doing that, I came to a measurement with converting it into metric from imperial. The problem I'm running into though is how much poke I'm going to have of the wheels sticking out from the fender because I'm running a 245 series tire. Before I move on, I gotta point out this is my fault. I did not do math correctly. And I know some people in the comments will be like, ooh, you idiot, you should have done math or you should have researched this before you bought them. Well, sometimes accidents happen and I'm at least admitting it and putting this in the YouTube video instead of just slapping some extra 5 mil spacers on the front here and trying to hide it like, ooh, wow, it fits perfect. Because that's not real life. And when you modify cars, you run into issues like this. No matter how much research you do, sometimes you still miscalculate something and you have this happen. So I'm being honest about it and showing you guys. Now I need to move forward from here and try to solve the problem. The right solution would be to get different wheels that have the correct offset and also are designed to clear a big brake kit. But these wheels were sponsored. I cannot get rid of them now. And these brakes were custom ordered in this Tiffany blue color. So I don't want to get rid of the big brakes either. You know what I mean? I spent $2,000 on the front and rear brake setup on this car. I'm not a fan of wheel spacers already as it is. But if I run a 15 mil spacer on the front of here, it should give me enough clearance to be able to clear the brake caliper. As far as poke goes, because the car is jacked up off the ground right now, the top of the wheel is cambered out and the bottom is cambered in. So it is sticking out more than it really will when it's on level ground with the weight of the car on it. Will it fit? That's what he said. Fits. Well, there it is. All bolted up. Just need to put the wheel spacers on there and put this wheel on. I can move towards the back. If I had to give one complaint on this system, the one thing I do not care for is the fact that the rotors are not hub centric, they're lug centric. So there's about a 1/4 of an inch gap around the edge of the hub right here, which I don't really like because then it relies on your wheel studs to center the brake rotor, which could cause vibration, and it actually addresses this in the owner's manual. I don't know, like, I just kind of figured if I'm gonna spend this much money, I wouldn't have an issue like that. Okay, I'm happy again. I ordered another set of spacers. I got some 17 mil spacers this time, and after measuring 63 times on this wheel, that will give me approximately 3.35 millimeters of clearance from the caliper to the back of the spoke. So I could have went with a 15 mil spacer, but that would have been less than 2 millimeters of clearance. and that was kind of like, ooh. So I went a little bit more. And the award to the most adorable socket wrench in the world goes to this little fella. Isn't that so cute? Okay. 14 mil and a 14 mil. These rears should be pretty easy since I'm just replacing stock components. There's not a big brake kit back here. Just doing stainless lines, rotors, and pads. So should be nothing custom back here. Hello. Isn't this creepy? Hi. Ooh, that's tight. That's what he said. That never gets old. Gotta take this bracket off so I can get the rotor off. There we go. Ta-da! I'm gonna clean up the hubs real quick before I put the new rotors on. I'm not gonna film it because I already filmed the front ones. Yeah, I know, it's the other side of the car, whatever. I went over it with wheel cleaner, I went over it with brake clean, I scrubbed it with a wire brush, I scrubbed it with a toothbrush, then I rinsed it with water, and I did that like 10 times. It looks like the paint that's on here just peeled off around the piston, and the same inside here is just peeled off. But I think that's clean enough to paint at least. This is what I'm gonna do. If you look at the color of these front calipers, it is somewhere in the spectrum between these two right here, and it's a little bit lighter, so I also picked up a white of this high heat engine paint. It's good till 500 degrees. I've used this on brake calipers before. It does work, so, and especially because it's on the rears. I think this will be a solution so my rear brake calipers will match. Right. What is right in German? Recht? 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 The next step before I put on the calipers is I need to paint the caliper mount brackets and the calipers themselves. However, it is now 7 o'clock at night, it is dark out, and it is cold out there. I just went outside to see if I could try to scuff and shoot these rear caliper mount brackets, but it's pretty dumb trying to do this in the dark outside on my patio. And what's the point? I'm not gonna be able to finish this tonight. So I'm going to end the video here. I'll get up first thing tomorrow morning, 6:30, and get editing this video so you have something to watch right now when you're watching it. So I didn't get it done in one video. I tried. Oh well, that's life. Sometimes these things happen. So I'll see you guys soon with part 2 of this project. Bye.